NFL fans, welcome back to the channel. This is an episode of the J All Day Show. On my little lunch break action, I want to go for the betting preview for week 6. There's some really nice bets I think we can make some cash on this week that I'm circling. I'll let you know in Friday's members only video all the actual bets I placed this week. But I wanted to show you some of the games that I'm circling and some of the totals, spreads, and money lines that I think could potentially make us some money this week. The Ravens came up huge for us last week, got us a dub. We also had some really good teasers where we teased the Saints, and that really helped us out a lot this week. All right, first off, we're going to talk about this 49ers-Seahawks game. I'm kind of circling the total in this game. I think this could be a slower paced game than a lot of people think. So I think the under might be in play for Thursday night. Another game that I really like is the Chicago Bears money line at minus 135 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. What I did in one of my bets, I'm going to let you know one of my bets, is I bought an extra half a point and I got Chicago Bears minus 1.5. That way we win any way that the Bears win over 1 point, and I got that at minus 120 for buying an extra half a point. So that's the bet that I made. I got the Bears minus 1.5 at minus 120 odds. That comes in between the spread and the money line. I think that's a really great bet for us. Next up, we have the Browns and the Eagles. I don't love this total at all whatsoever. If anything, I like probably the over in this game. If I had to make one bet on this game, the Cleveland Browns, their defense is not very good. Their offense isn't going to score a lot of points, but the Philadelphia Eagles defense has not been very good this year at all. They've given up a lot of points. And if the Browns are ever going to score 17 points in a game, 20 points in a game, it could be this game. So that's an interesting bet that I'm circling. Commanders at the Ravens. The Commanders line was up to plus 7.5 earlier in the week. So if you got in on that, good for you, right? Both of these teams, their defenses are giving up a lot of points, so I agree with this win total being extremely high, right? We could see a 27-24, 31-27 type of game here. I don't like any of the money line bets or the spread bets. Minus 290 is not something I'm interested in. Plus 235 on the Commanders is a little interesting. Taking them in the 6.5 points. I wish this was over 7. So I'm probably going to stay away from this game. All right, Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots, guys. Nico Collins, the best wide receiver in the NFL so far this year, he just got put on IR, so he's out, right? So we don't really want to be in this game. They do have other good receivers like Stephon Diggs that could jump in here, but at minus 310, I don't necessarily love it. I think they win, but at minus 310, that's a lot of juice. Maybe the Texans you could do in like a 2-team parlay. I don't necessarily love 3 or more team parlays, but the Texans could be alive in that regard. And you got to also remember, for the New England Patriots, Drake May is getting his first start as the New England Patriots starting quarterback, right? A lot of variables. The over-under is only at 38, right? So, I don't know. The Texans defense hasn't been awesome. Can Drake May bring this offense to life and score 14 or 17 points? We'll have to see. All right, Arizona Cardinals at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers defense definitely worries me a little bit here, guys. The Arizona Cardinals have shown a lot of resiliency this year, and at plus 190, I don't hate it. Jordan Love wasn't incredibly accurate last week either. He's still getting his feet under him after coming off of that injury. So I think the Arizona Cardinals are live dogs at plus 190. Here's another bet that I'm circling, guys. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Saints. It looks like no Derek Carr this week for the Saints. And the Saints backup, not very good, right? So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a mini bye week playing last Thursday at minus 162. I really like that bet. I think that's the best bet, maybe one of the better bets of the week, guys. I haven't laid any juice on it yet. trying to see where this line settles, but at minus 162, I might be getting in sooner rather than later. Colts Titans, this is a coin flip game. I don't really see an edge. We're still finding out if Anthony Richardson's going to play or not. The Titans defense is okay, but Will Levis can't be trusted, so I don't know if I want to bet this game. Steelers at the Raiders. The Steelers might be live for me at minus 162, but man, Justin Fields looked absolutely horrible against a banged-up Cowboys defense last week. He's just very inaccurate with the football and cannot be trusted. It looks like Aiden O'Connell could potentially be taking over the quarterback position for Gardner Minshew for the Raiders. It looks like no Devontae Adams again while they're trying to figure out this trade situation. So I don't love betting road teams that are favorites, but minus 162 is not too bad. If you do Steelers, Buccaneers, two-team parlay, that's interesting to me because that's plus odds for two teams. I think the Steelers and Buccaneers, especially with the Saints and no Derek Carr, are just better teams right now. And then we go on to the Chargers at the Broncos. I do like the Chargers in plus money. I think I like the plus 3 points the best, more than I like the plus 130 odds. But you got to remember the Chargers are coming off a bye. They're going to be refreshed. Some of those injuries and the players who got those injuries are going to be rejuvenated a little bit. It's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, I think. So I originally liked the Broncos, but I think I'm going to have to pass on this game. Another game I really like is the Lions on the road versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense, not very good. Banged up Micah Parsons. I don't know if he's going to play this week. No Lawrence either in a defense that wasn't very good to begin with. I think the Lions light them up. I think they cover the 3 points, and I love the money line at minus 155. That's a bet I'm definitely circling this week. Falcons at the Panthers. The Panthers got blown out last week by the Chicago Bears, and the Atlanta Falcons offense is a lot better, in my opinion, with Kirk Cousins than the Chicago Bears offense is. So I think minus 6 points is definitely in play for a bet for us this week. Then we move on to Sunday Night Football, the Bengals and the Giants. Two teams that really struggled defensively. The Giants have a better defensive line for sure, but that pass game is really, really starting to flourish right now for Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So this total, I wish it was at 45. I would have picked the over at 48. That's like right where it needs to be in my opinion. So Joe Burrow has been getting the ball out really quickly, guys. So I think the Bengals can win this game, but at minus 175, I do not love that juice, especially because the Bengals defense is so bad. And Daniel Jones looked pretty good considering he had no Malik Neighbors and no Devin Singletary last week in that upset win on the road at Seattle, right? Now, we move on to Buffalo at the Jets. Jets just fired their head coach. I don't think that's really going to do anything for this team. I still think they're going to be completely dysfunctional. The Bills at minus 135 is in play for me, but we have to see if Ed Oliver and Khalil Shakir are back in the lineup. If they're still out, I'm probably going to pass on this game. Maybe I'll take the Jets in plus 2.5. I wish it was plus 3, but the DraftKings lines are pretty right on this week, right? So we'll have to check the injury report. I'll fill you guys in on Friday with my members-only bets. If you're interested in sports betting, I show you my whole sports book every single Friday. My memberships are $4.99 a month, and we're up positive on our units this year, so make sure you check that out in the description below. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like these kind of betting previews, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and we'll catch you on the next video. Go Birds! Man, if Nick Sirianni and the Eagles lose this week to the Browns, Sirianni has to get fired. I don't think that happens, but we'll see, right? Go Birds!